up, you gays and motherfuckers?
You know, I gotta bleep out the first. If you do it within the first few sentences, I gotta bleep it for sure.
Okay. We ready now?
I mean, you can stick with that.
How are you, everybody? Nice to see you. Start doing this shit like Mr. Rogers, fucking change my shoes and shit.
Shoes.
Just not in the first.
Then I can be like, you cock gazing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Now that I got my shit changed.
Yeah.
You wore shorts to the podcast. You're a bold man.
Yeah, and I rode a motorcycle.
You did.
Yeah.
No helmet?
No, I wore a fucking helmet. If I'm gonna fucking be crippled, I at least want to have a fucking somewhat of a face.
I at least want to have enough brain cognition to know I'm fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got pulled over in fucking Heath the other day. Dude, I was a total dick to that cop. Like, I had to apologize to my buddy to let him know. I was passing a car coming down this road. I don't ever fucking remember that highway, but coming like I was coming to the studio. And there was a fucking car doing 35 in a 55. So I'm coming up, and there's that passing zone. So I fucking gun it, and sure enough, the first car pop over the hill's a fucking cop, and he fucking hits me at 75. I'm like, fuck. But I was getting over to slow down. And he pulls me over in that fucking church, and he's like, you're speeding, right? You know the speed limit? And I was like, shit, I don't know. Was it 45 or 55? And, well, you were doing 75. And I was like, I was also passing a car. I said, would you want me to do it at the speed limit or slower? And he was like, no, do you have your gun on you? Well, hell yeah, I have my gun on me. This is America.
This is Texas.
And I was kind of in a bad mood because I was fucking looking for washers, dryers, and doing some other shit. And one of my guys had just fucked up. So he comes back, and I text my buddy. He was kind of being a prick, too. So, you know, be a prick, get back, which total opposite of what I normally do. Normally, if they're a prick, I'm still polite.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't going well, so I text my buddy, this cop's a prick. And he was like, what happened? And about that time, dude hands me my license. He said, man, slow the fuck down. I'm like, all right, cool. And I was like, never mind, he's cool. And keep going. He was like, man, that dude's a rookie. He's going to pull over everybody right now.
Yeah.
And I said, well, send him pictures of all my shit and tell him I'm going to be speeding. And sure enough, my buddy did. And that motherfucker, I was 75 coming up the same fucking road. And he just fucking shaking his head and waved. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. But, yeah, I mean, I would guess I deserved the ticket, so I'd have had to eat it. But
Fucking rookie.
I almost wanted to ask him, bitch, you want to see my gun? It's top notch.
Yeah. Top class.
Yeah. Top flight security of the world, Craig. So we asked you guys to comment on last week's video. If you haven't done that yet, go do it now before this episode's over, and we'll comment to you a week and a half later from now, because this is recorded, you fucking fuck sticks. Just kidding. Don't go back and comment on that video. I'm just kidding. Playing.
It's not live.
It's not live at all.
Not live.
We
The
record
premiere is not live.
No.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah,
It's not
it
live.
don't say live. It says premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like Star Wars.
Sometimes we're in the live chat. Like, we're there, but
Yeah.
we're not on screen. That's not us right now.
I'm usually always there. I think I've missed one. Mike's, I would say 75% of the time you're in there popping in and out.
Yeah.
Zach's 10%.
All right. Come on now.
No, I mean, people would know if you're actually there if you'd man up and say your fucking name.
How do you know I don't have like an alternate account?
Because
You
I
haven't
can
figured
tell by your grammar when you respond who the fuck you are.
Maybe I'm really playing deep here.
Like, you act like you're top secret, but you're saying shit that only we would know.
Zach. Old 10% Zach.
That's right, old 10% Zach. My God.
Fucking Zach.
Thanks, fellas.
Hopefully, though, you'll make one.
I want to make next week. I'm bummed I didn't make last week's. I want to see how people are taking the studio. Like, I want to, you know.
Well, I think the general consensus was, you can tell like oh, it's great, guys. And then the honest people are like, dude, it looks like shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
Yeah,
But
we're working on it.
it's a work in progress. Just
Yeah.
untwist your fucking panties. It'll be there soon.
Yeah, you get to come on this journey with us.
Well, anybody who remembers your show from the beginning,
Yeah.
this show from the beginning, I mean, it was transitioning weekly,
Yeah.
you know, and this will start doing the same till we just get happy. Then we'll quit adding shit other than viewers and
That's right.
smart ass comments. We'll keep adding those.
Stripper pole. May throw that in.
I really think that one guy said we should get a crack whore to deliver drinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you get one of those all the way out there?
Yeah.
On this side of town?
Yeah, just go to Forney.
I'm gonna say leave the crack whores out of here.
What about just a standard whore?
Yeah.
No, I mean an escort would be great, but
Don't say that. My wife will get mad. I told you about my bachelor party. Not this one, the last bachelor party.
So we'll call it a podcast get together.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about your bachelor party.
Okay, so my last bachelor party,
Yeah.
not this one, the first one.
Yes.
We didn't have strippers. My best man forgot to get them, so we hired escorts. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're not fucking them, I mean,
Well,
Well,
were
but that wasn't.
all right. Let me say it again. If you're not fucking them,
yeah, they were highly qualified escorts. So what's fucked up? They showed us their SMU student ID.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that means they're legal. All right, let's go.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You bet your ass we ID'd them. Like, I frisked them bitches and everything. I'm
You
like,
frisked them?
you motherfuckers, y'all wearing a wire?
Oh yeah. You didn't see it, but you had to know for
Yeah.
sure to feel it. Like
Yeah.
just to make sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Get on her nipples and, bitch, is this a mic?
Yeah.
Start twisting on them motherfuckers.
You're tuning a radio with these. But that was the first one, right? Not the
Yeah.
first, of course.
No, she didn't let me have one this time.
That was another life.
So I'm going to still have one. She just ain't going to know about it.
Right.
Yeah. I got to be
I've
careful.
never really understood the bachelor party. Like to me, they kind of don't make sense. Like if you're getting married, get married. If you don't want to get married, don't get fucking married.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. And I mean, most people, it's their last fuck around. Well, or last hurrah. You either go to a strip club and get dick teased. Your friends waste a lot of money.
but, I mean, even that though, right? Is that it? Like at that point, you're about to get married. You know, so any other circumstance that your soon-to-be wife isn't going to be cool with you banging a bunch of strippers.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like clearly she's not going to be cool with it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
week before or the day
yeah, it's
before.
like to me it just doesn't make any fucking like why would you fucking waste your time with that?
It's cool,
Like
babe.
if
We
that's
weren't
your
married.
gig, hey, no problem, more power to you. But don't get fucking married.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not your gig and you want to get married, then why fuck with that? I don't know. To me, like I tradition maybe, but even then, let's just like I wouldn't fuck with it.
If you're gonna be a bachelor, be a bachelor.
My brother,
Yeah, fuck.
my brother's was pretty cool. We just went to a pool hall
Okay.
and a regular bar.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
then
can see going
just
throwing-
dudes hanging out
yeah,
doing
having a
shit.
fucking
Friends. Yeah.
shindig or whatever, but like yeah, just the standard. Same thing with like the bachelorette parties, like
Yeah.
15 fucking drunk ass bobblehead bimbos running around with dick fucking hats and
Suckers and shit.
yeah, like
But that's the last time some of them suck a dick.
maybe it's the first.
It could be the first. You shouldn't marry her at all.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've been getting in trouble for talking shit about blowjobs with my wife.
Mike, you've never had a bachelor party?
Fuck no.
Oh,
I've
okay.
never even been to one.
do you-
I just think they're stupid.
All right. So before you got hitched, you can get together with some of your buddies. No, drink.
No,
Fuck around.
no, but again, to me, I have a very pragmatic and not very like nostalgic viewpoint on marriage and just that whole process, I guess.
Yeah.
Or at least I did back then. My thought process was just very simply like, if this is a person I want to marry, let's get fucking married.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Like we didn't have a year and a half engagement. It was like when we decided, hey, we're going to get married, we were married a couple weeks later at the courthouse
Right.
on her fucking lunch break.
Yeah.
In normal fucking street clothes, and that's it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah. That's how you
to
do
me, I can see dropping some coin on a ring because that's something that you wear all the time.
it. Sure.
Spending a ton of money on a wedding, bachelor party, all that bullshit to me is one of the biggest wastes of fucking money out there. Now, that's coming from a guy who spends money on cars, so I'm not blind to the fucking, well, you spend like whatever you're into. Like I'm not saying you're stupid for doing it. I'm just saying like for me it's dumb and pointless.
Yeah.
Most people probably think it's dumb and pointless to spend money on cars and motorcycles, so I get that, but
Well-
that's just my take on it.
Well, they don't
Yours
understand speed.
Technically could be investments. Most of
Yeah, I mean,
well,
there's a certain level where they are, but
the
to
way
me,
we do it's not.
no, I mean, but to me, even that, I was having, I don't remember who I was talking to. It was one of the fucking car salesmen. Maybe it was at the Ferrari place, but that mentality of buying something, with and not putting miles on it, to me is a travesty. And similarly to the bachelor party thing, I don't get it. In that, like, if you're buying a car to enjoy it, then enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're buying a car for an investment, like that's a shitty investment. Like if you're going to wrap up a few $100,000 of liquid fucking capital, there are far, far better ways to wrap that up to where you can guarantee that you're going to make a decent fucking return on it.
Yeah.
Even the best car investment is a shitty investment compared to investments.
Yeah, it's a true investment.
You know, I mean, with very, very few exceptions. I mean, you know, maybe the 458 Speciale, you know, would be an example of one that, yeah, it's double what it fucking stickered at, but nobody saw that coming either. So, you know, yeah, they're the anomaly exceptions like that, but by and large, they're fucking money pits, you know.
Yeah.
And so to me, like if you're going to buy a several $100,000 or more car, to just have it sit in your garage, to me, that's the justification for doing it that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's that, well, I don't want to lose a bunch on resale, where you're going to lose some either way.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what's the point of just having a car sitting in your garage to say that you have it, or, you know, to take it to a car meet here or there to show off like a flex or what? I mean, I just don't get that. Like, to me, if I'm going to spend the money on that fucking car, I want to enjoy the goddamn thing, you know? And I know you're the same way.
Yeah.
But I've never understood that, because that's a very common perspective. I think you talk to people at any of the car meets, most of the people that have these really nice cars, ask them how many fucking miles are on them, and it's like, oh, I just drive it here.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy with an older 911 fucking track car that I was like, dude, how is this thing? He's like, I've never tracked it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, no, the only place I drive, you know, it's either in my garage or I come to here and I go back. And he's like wiping it down, you know, like as he got there. I'm just like, you know, again, like fucking, hey, you do you. I don't get it, you know. Not that I need to get it, but it's just, it seems like a strange justification to have something to try to minimize the amount of money you're going to lose on it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're buying something knowing you're probably going to lose money on it, so you don't enjoy what you just spent a bunch of money on to try to minimize how much you lose on it. Like,
Yeah.
replace car with mutual funds or anything else that you can't fucking enjoy.
Yeah.
Because if you're not driving it and using it and actually doing something with it, I don't know how you enjoy that. You know.
Yeah.
But,
Bragging rights, like you said, a flex. I've been lucky with all of mine. I've literally bought at a good buy.
well, so even with that, right?
But it's luck.
The flex mentality, right? To
Yeah.
me, like a true flex would be buying an expensive car and then putting 80,000 miles
Yeah.
on it.
No,
Like,
no bullshit.
True, like, yeah, I don't give a fuck how much money. Like to me, that's way more of a flex than buying a car and you know, biting your fingernails on how much money you're going to lose by putting mileage on it. You know, it's like if you really want to show off, buy a car and beat the shit out of it. You know, like
The funniest shit was, I don't know if you heard it. We were at the meet. It was the fueled up meet last time. It was John Taylor had his TDF there, and you had your car, and then, yeah, it was you and him, and then I was over here. And one of these guys are going back and forth talking. One guy talking about, you know, how he don't put a ton of miles on his car. And the dude he's talking to was the guy with the Lamborghini, the UGR Stage 3. And he said, while you're playing and we're talking about money and everything, he said, these two guys right here just called everybody a bitch because they pay taxes on their cars. Because they both had Texas plates on them and everybody else's shit said Montana. He said, that's the ultimate flex right there. And I was like, he ain't wrong. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy my cars. I drive the shit out of them. I mod them. And then, I mean, most of the time when I sell them, I put them back to stock and I sell the mods. And I've done good making money, but it wasn't that I was like, oh, fuck, I can buy this car now, flip it in 6 months and make blah, blah, blah. No, shit, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I mean, cars aren't good investments that
Oh,
way. You know,
hell
I mean,
no.
with the very few exceptions, if you're talking like, you know, the cars that sell at auctions and stuff that are restored 57 fucking Cobras or whatever, you know, shit like that maybe, but.
Yeah, or the website, we got those two that are selling quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
something like that, sure. But, you know, those are so rare and at a point where it's like, yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense to drive them because there's so many things on them that you can't replace or whatever. But again, like if you look at the percentage of what those cars make up in the exotic or high-end car industry, it's a fraction of a percentage. You know, most people, you know, have cars that they drive and whatever. I've never really understood that. But what do you guys think?
Yeah.
You never want to be the dad from Ferris Bueller, right? With like the Ferrari 250 GT, it just sits. You always want to be the kid.
You want to be the valet.
Fuck yeah.
That's what you want to be.
That's the money. Yeah, You want to be the valet. You want to be the guy who takes it out and drives it.
You want to be the guy that doesn't even have to pay for it, but gets to beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's true. And
You want to be Tyler?
Yeah.
You want a kid to back it out the garage. Yeah. How's Tyler doing, by the way?
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker was like at that same event. It was a couple events later. Hey, I got y'all hooked up with a valet.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
We show up. Who?
Yeah. Who's that?
No, I don't know any Tyler. Oh. We're just fucking with you, Tyler. He did know, but it took him a while.
Yeah.
It took Tyler showing up.
Yeah,
Like,
and
oh,
waving.
Tyler. It's like, so Tyler doesn't mean Tyler until Tyler shows up?
Yeah. And then Mike parks his car, and the guy's like, "Yeah, give me the keys." Mike's like, "Nope." He takes his keys.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
That's great.
My wife gave that motherfucker the title and everything.
Here's
to
a
her
purse, fucking gun.
car. Yeah.
That's right.
We trust you.
Took her, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Have the
Took her
deed.
panties, everything.
God. You just let that happen?
I mean, I was on Mike's back, so I couldn't stop nothing.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of overheating that motherfucker.
Did you overheat his bike, really?
Huh?
Did you overheat his bike, really?
No, the bitch was getting hot.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything I did. It's just, it was getting hot.
yeah, I mean, any bike, I mean, cars the same way. Like the area of town that we were in was busy, so it's just a lot of idling at traffic.
It's getting warm out.
Cars and bikes, especially the bikes. So I took the BMW out yesterday for a little while and hit a couple of spots where I was sitting in traffic for 4 or 5 minutes straight. Jesus Christ. Especially like in leather and full helmet and fucking sitting on a 225-degree fucking bike, sitting at a stoplight when it's 95 out. Like, God damn it.
Yeah. It was hot yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I didn't fucking ride shit yesterday. And I haven't fixed the tires on my fucking Audi because
Still.
I'm an asshole. It's one of those things. I feel like shit if I spend that money because I owe money to someone, right?
Makes
and
sense.
I'd rather you fix the tire.
Here's this. I'm just fucking weird like that. But then I'm also a cheap motherfucker and won't buy other things we need for here. Be like, no, I gotta do other shit.
I can steal that. Now,
Yeah,
That's right. I got a guy.
I get that from a construction site.
Yeah.
Fucking. So we told you guys to comment on the video last week, and then we reply to those comments. And I'm gonna go in and somewhat reply, but here are some of the comments we got. Some of them are great, and some of them I ain't even gonna read. Y'all are stupid. I'm just kidding. A lot of them are really good, but there was a lot. So we'll get to as many as we can. One of them was, I mentioned the blue tabs in the toilet. Why don't you put them down there?
What?
The blue tabs in the tank to keep you can put them in the tank or put them in the bowl.
Yeah.
That's about the only plumbing question, which thank God, I hate plumbing. The reason you don't put them in there, to make that goo and anything, when you put them in the tank, that stuff can eat rubbers.
Really?
Yeah, and your tank, what seals up your tank is rubber.
Right.
Rubber or really hard plastic. Well, the rubber gets ate. The brass starts getting ate. And about the third or fourth time you start do that, you'll notice your toilets start running.
all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And then you're calling out a plumber, bitching at a plumber. It says it on the box.
So was that product developed by a plumber, I take it? So,
Probably. I mean, it's like the feminine wipes and the toilet paper wipes and all that. They all say safe to wipe. And technically, if the plumbing systems are done right, they are.
Sure.
And custom houses like what you live in, they are. And houses like I buy that are upper end track homes, no, I wouldn't flush one of them motherfuckers at all.
Really?
And the thing is, the plumber that did his house charged double, sometimes triple the money to install that plumbing. So chances are everything's clean, deburred, so when it's going by, it's flowing. And then you got, no offense to you Hispanics watching,
Oh, Jesus.
you got Pablo over here talking about fuck these motherfuckers, and your shit's all burred up in there and
Right.
everything's catching on the way, so it causes a problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the blue thing's in your toilet, don't do it.
When I was in high school, we went to there was a shopping mall in my hometown. There's one in Waterloo, one in Cedar Falls. We went to the one in Cedar Falls because it was the richer, area or whatever. And we dumped a 6-pack of blue 2000 flushes into the fountain. In the little fountain.
Hell yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
You put joy in there too, and that'll fuck
yeah.
shit up.
Yeah, it looked like fucking doing
Yeah,
laundry.
you've seen they did it down in town where we went to the movies the other day. That fucker got someone put laundry detergent in there, and that whole motherfucker was sudding up. It was about 2 years ago.
Jesus.
Shit was awesome.
You went to the movies the other day?
Man, you're nosy.
What'd you see?
Fucking ask what you did.
New Saw movie? Right?
Did you get head during the thing? What'd you eat?
How
long was it?
in there? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. My wife was trying to get me to do some awkward shit, and that would have normally been cool until I look
movie?
over and your daughter's sitting next to me.
Good Lord.
In the fucking theater?
Yeah, she was like, "I should have brought a jacket." I'm like, freak.
You should have bought 2 tickets to a different movie. That's what we should have done.
Hey, don't judge us.
Yeah, no.
Should have bought 3 buffer seats between fucking between chairs. Apparently.
Yeah, so I'm the nice person in this. Remember, I thought about your children.
All right.
That's good of you to out her on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? It's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I told her no. I'm trying to remember. I think her name's Kim
You're
that
a
asked that
respectable
question.
woman.
Yeah. I found a decent, affordable carbon ceramic brake system is the Power Stop Z2326, which is a great upgrade for a common car. Cheap on Rock Auto. No, I don't work for the company either. They're drilled, slotted, Z23 pads. That's great and all, but they're ceramic pads, not ceramic discs. So you got to have the discs that work with the pads, or you're just band-aiding.
Well, then I think that they probably last longer than normal ones,
Yeah.
but not a lifetime of a car the way double ceramic would.
Yeah. It said drilled and slotted. I'm going to have to look that up and see if the rotors or the calipers, the pads are, sorry, I said calipers.
I have no doubt that
It's still going to be better.
ceramic brakes that come from, the car manufacturers are, horribly overpriced, and for sure you can probably make some that are better. The only thing that I think that I would be careful with is just, I know, like, to switch ceramic brakes, like, you got to do brake flushes, and like it's more involved, I guess, than just putting new brake pads on or whatever. So because it's such an important component to driving, but for me personally, it's just not something I'd fuck with. I would want for brakes, like I want the dealer. If it's ceramic brakes that are that car companies, like I would want the certified fucking dealer working on them. That's just me, but
Yeah. No, 100% I agree with you. If I was doing, say, another SEMA build, I don't think I'd even mess with it. I've worked a lot with another high-end brake company, and they make great brakes, but golly, the brake dust on those.
yeah.
It's just nuts.
Are SEMA builds like 90%
Bullshit.
cosmetic and 10% actual mechanical? Is it like Pimp My Ride?
It's a trade show.
Right.
So
So
it's-
it's how it looks, right?
I always giggle when you're on Auto Trader or DuPont Registry and you see SEMA show winner. Bitch, nobody wins a fucking trade show. It's not a car show.
It's like winning a convention.
If you buy a car that someone said they're a SEMA show winner, you probably just bought someone's bullshit car they built and it's not ever even been to SEMA.
That's the dog equivalent of, in Craigslist, champion lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
With no kind of
all
paperwork.
right. Champion of fucking what?
Yeah.
Neat.
Shit's on a
your
post-it note.
neighborhood dog show? Like what?
Yeah. There are some, I would say SEMA's 50-50. There's 50% of builds that are fucking badass.
Okay.
And then there's 50% that when you're in person, photographs of them are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But when you're in person, you're like, what the fuck? I've seen wraps coming off cars by the end of SEMA.
Really?
I've seen paint coming
SEMA's
off
what,
cars.
3 days?
It's 4 days. It starts on a Tuesday, ends on a Friday.
I got that hot Vegas.
But we start moving in. You start moving in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday's kind of a shutdown, clean up,
Right.
get ready. And then, dude, I've seen a truck pull in with vice grips holding the brake lines. I've seen some fucked up. I've seen the dude who was running SEMA get rear-ended in the staging lane by a guy with shitty brakes.
Wait, is it at the convention center in Vegas?
Yeah. And then they use the lots, you know how they're labeled. Yeah. That whole platinum lot going into that, where those two 7-Elevens are behind it, there's the one here and then there's the one around the corner by them, for lack of a better word, projects, because that's what those are back there.
Yeah.
You literally are taking these sometimes $200,000 cars and up through the projects and down to get to the platinum lot to stage. And you'll be sitting there for hours.
Jesus.
And dude, I've seen people get out of their cars, go buy beer, go get a cooler at the 7-Eleven. Oh, it's fucking nuts.
What time of year is it?
It's usually the first week of November, last week of October into the first week
It's
of
always
November.
not balls fucking hot.
Oh yeah, It's 50-50. I've been there where it's decent, and I've been there where it's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
But at night, you know how it is in Vegas. It always is cold as shit. So that question about the brakes or comment, that was Mr. Tallman. TWT Bulls Micro Bullies. Motherfucker, you got a billboard for a name. It's still 4 more words. I ain't saying them.
TWT.
Yeah, he's got a cute-ass bulldog in his picture, though.
Oh.
What do you think of the F-150 Lightning coming out? They seem a lot cheaper than the Tesla. Me personally, I think they ruined a good fucking bloodline of a car they had.
They should have called it something else. The same way that they shouldn't call the E-Mach fucking Mustang a Mustang.
Yeah, that shouldn't have
Just
been
called
that.
something else.
Yeah.
The Lightning, especially when we were growing up, was a fucking dream truck. It was a muscle truck. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if you add an electric motor and make a go-kart truck with 1,000 horsepower. It's still not the Lightning that we grew up with the big Cobra engine in it, beaten up tires, and
Big old lightning bolt on that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
those motherfuckers.
So there used to be a truck called the Lightning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we were growing up, there was the Cyclone, the Typhoon, the Lightning. Chevy had one, but it wasn't supercharged. I can't remember the name of it. But it was basically these cars, well, outside the Typhoon and the Cyclone, there was a full size.
These sound like roller coasters.
Someone else had one.
I'm like, what?
These sound like roller coasters. These
Well,
don't sound like cars.
These were all pickup truck, rear wheel drive. Well, the Typhoon and Cyclone were all wheel drive, but they had the Buick Grand National engines in them. And forever, they were the fastest production cars you could buy.
Really?
And they were fucking a S10 Blazer and S10 pickup truck. Then the F-150 was a single cab. It was the Harley Davidson trucks, the other one I was thinking about. But the Ford put V8s in them and supercharged them.
Fucking A.
The Lightning 2-wheel drive, 5.0 engine. I think they went to a 4.6 there towards the end. But you get in it and tires shredding. Couldn't get traction to save your motherfucking life. But those bitches were bad.
Hell yeah.
Then you had the Harley, which was the crew cab version of the Lightning, with down the side had a pinstripe and musical notes and all this shit. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And they were all numbered and collectible. And they're still pretty expensive cars if you're trying to find one. It was the SRT-10 Dodge had, which had a Viper engine in it. The V10 Viper engine in a single cab truck with a fucking 6-speed.
Fuck yeah.
And then they had a crew cab version. And fucking mean. So those are, it'd be like Dodge coming out with a SRT-10 electric.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch, do you not know what the 10 meant?
Right.
Yeah. Or, I mean, any of them, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like, a Chevy Corvette electric. Like, don't call it a fucking Corvette then.
They're just
Like,
trying to get that marketing. They know people like F-150 on shit. It's their best selling truck.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get you want to get into the EV. I understand that. We're going to EV, but name it something fucking hell. That heritage of that Lightning was, for us growing up, nostalgic.
Yeah.
Especially as we get older. Like, I still to this day, hell, when you watch some of the first Fast and Furious, the good ones, his delivery truck was a fucking Ford Lightning. That he's taking to pick up Dom's fucking sister or try to hit on Dom's sister. That's a Lightning.
Right.
Not this bullshit, take it and plug it in. The fucking Lightning means, bitch, I need electricity.
Ford Lightning.
same with the Hummer. Like, I hate that it's an all-electric fucking. I don't.
They should have let it die. Or call it something else.
Yeah, just call it something else.
It didn't have to be a Hummer. It's a cool, to me, out of everything coming out right now, the Hummer looks the best. But for the same reason you just mentioned is the reason I wouldn't own it.
Yeah.
If it was called the electric Denali, because GMC owns it now because Hummer went out of business technically,
Yeah.
I'd probably buy that.
I mean, I think even then the the Denali is
It's the
an
upgraded.
offshoot of the Yukon, right?
Yeah.
So, or a package on the Yukon. Like, just come up with a new fucking name.
Yeah. Call it the bitch we're going EV.
The dildo on wheels.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, though, I would say that they've stepped up the most
Yeah.
in making it look like a cool EV.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, especially the power. That fucking 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 torque fucker, that sold out in an hour.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, fucking sold out in an hour.
Jesus.
So that's what we think of the Lightning. They're
Not much.
Their long name.
TWT Bulls, Micro Bullies, and French Bulldogs. Damn, that's a long ass name.
.com.org.
Cute dog though.
Yeah, it's a cute ass dog.
Yeah.
Love the show, but the new studio looks like the cave they caught Bin Laden in.
How do you know it wasn't?
Yeah.
How do you know it wasn't?
how you know it
Also, Bin Laden wasn't caught in a cave.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah, he was in a
Dumbass.
house. Oh, he said hiding in. My fault. I read it wrong. This is why I shouldn't be the one reading. Motherfuckers know I got.
Let me pull this shit up.
Yeah. Let the motherfucking guy who's an author pull this shit up.
That's right. Mike, take a crack at those.
That doesn't mean I can read.
Well, you can damn sure pretend real well.
That's right.
He's not pulling shit up. He just keeps looking at his phone, looking at
Could've
texts
fooled
and
me.
shit. Yeah, so. Oh, and the sound is garbage. Kevin, your mom's garbage.
Look, Kevin, buddy,
Yeah.
easy.
This is our second show with the new mics.
Yeah, we're getting them dialed in.
Zach is actually on the old mics we're used to using, and if this shit don't work out, fuck off, we'll change them.
We'll get it hammered out. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nosy ass.
We're getting there, all right?
If you would go join Patreon, we could get nicer equipment.
It's true. Patreon.com/uninfluenced.
Kevin,
Come get
cheap
involved.
fuck.
Yeah.
Great show. Congrats on the new studio. I love the fact that you still work in Zach's sister banter to the end. Mike's face was priceless. Also, Matt's wheels turning at 45:07 was funny as hell.
what were you thinking about, man?
Probably having sex.
507.
Usually that's what I am thinking about.
Really?
Yeah, sex.
Hanging it out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I can get through a lot. I can get through tons of stress. At the end of the day, what's the stress relief for most guys? Banging.
That's right.
Video games.
Pounding one out.
So before y'all showed up to the movies the other day, my wife said, I said something, and I said, oh, it's like fucking beating off now, now that my fucking testosterone and HCG levels are right. And she said, you do that? And I said, fuck yeah, you cut me off. I got to. And then she laughed, and then she turned around. How often? I said, well, how often do we used to have sex?
Yeah.
And she was like, that often? I'm like, hey, play's got to play.
That's right. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm an alpha male. All right.
There's a reason there's new spackling in the office.
There's a reason that sock stands up on its own.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay.
It didn't change her behavior at all, though.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hence the,
Hence
wish I'd have brought a
hence the movie
jacket.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Nice. You got to lean on those insecurities whenever they're like, that's what
That's a
you're
good.
doing.
That's
Well,
a good.
shit.
Is that what
Yeah.
you do, Zach?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I exploit insecurities every day.
My
You'd
wife,
be a lot hotter if you just.
yeah. My wife wanted me to bring up the fact that one day she's talking to Zach about something cat bullshit.
Oh, no.
And Zach looks and she's like, he said, well, let me ask my roommate. And she said, you have a roommate? He said, well, my wife. And I was like,
Yeah, the woman I live with. Yeah, right.
I don't call
call
my
her your
wife my roommate, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, most people would call your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's typical. Is that what people say now?
Usually,
Son of a bitch.
that's kind of what they've always said.
Yeah.
Not so much nowadays, but
Well,
nowadays maybe it's roommate. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Life partner,
Yeah.
You fucking
Well, let me
millennials.
ask the one other person I live with if we can move a cat in here.
cohabitation individual,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you.
Pets are big.
birthing person.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Jesus.
Cum dumpster.
Oh, all right. That's a good one.
That's even better
Let me
than
lay that
roommate.
on her. I'll text her right now.
Tell her you called her a cum dumpster on the show or a roommate.
No, I'm going to tell her you told me to start calling her a con.
I don't care.
Does she know that you call her roommate?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she says it too.
Get what the fuck is wrong with you kids these days?
This
don't
is
know.
this
Yeah.
is gonna go from reading comments to motherfucking marriage advice.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
Christ.
could have laid best friend on her. Like, yeah, let me ask my bestie. See what she thinks.
Yeah, that's still
Much better.
Still not really married, Zach.
Is it because it's a lack of affection that roommate is?
Yeah.
Is it insincere? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was
I'll
told,
drop it.
I was told by my therapist during divorce. He asked me. He said, "When you looked at your ex-wife, did you ever tell her I love you?" I said, "Well, maybe in the beginning." I said, and then it got to I love you. Not even the fucking E on the end. I shortened that shit to LUV, and then just you.
Sure.
As fast as I could say that shit and bounce.
ILU, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, a true term of endearment is if you're not too lazy to say, I love you. I'm like, huh, man, you're a nosy motherfucker.
Yeah.
what the fuck do you know about it?
Yeah. How's your marriage, dickhead?
That's right.
Who made you the
Yeah. And he's
guy?
wrote like 4 books on marriage. So,
Yeah. Says the guy who's paid to talk about this stuff,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, Tony Robbins sells out crowds and writes books on businesses and
yeah, files bankruptcy.
fucking. Well, I mean,
Hadn't he? Yeah.
I don't know, but what I do know is like he didn't. I mean, to my knowledge, he didn't have any like what business does he have other than teaching people how to be successful?
We should start doing that.
You know, I mean, it's like there's
How
a lot
to
of
become a
people
fuck stick.
Well, motivational speakers. I've said this before. Like if they really worked, you wouldn't need them, right?
Sure.
Like you wouldn't need thousands of them and 7 different books. Like if your message works, you should only need to say it one time, and people would get it. You know, like I don't know. It seems fucking weird.
It's right up there with psychics. If it fucking worked, everybody would know. It's like Joe Rogan says with big dick pills, right?
Yeah.
If big dick pills worked, everybody would take them. It'd be the greatest shit ever. But they don't.
If time travel existed,
Fucking A.
we'd fucking know about it. If aliens were real, we'd have one on the show.
Yeah, they'd be here.
I would for sure get an alien, and then
So,
I'd
yeah.
want to have sex with it.
So here's the thing with that, like all this crazy ass technology, right? That they're trying to say that exists and all these videos and whatever. Number one, the video quality is always garbage.
Always.
Which in today's day and age, like that's step one of fuck you. I don't buy it. Right? Is it? And for the listener, you got a 5K, Randy, 5K, not
Fucking Randy.
Fucking 5K isn't even a thing. It is a thing. Most people have at least 4K in their pocket. Okay, and you know, so there should be better quality video.
Yeah.
But more importantly, like from a tactic standpoint, is that if their technology is that much more advanced than ours, like we wouldn't know about them at all, or they would have come here and fucking obliterated the fucking planet. Like if they're producing machines that are that vastly superior to ours,
Yeah.
what the fuck are they waiting on?
Well, that was Stephen Hawking's thing, right? Like
No.
if they're gonna be here, they're gonna blow us the fuck up. That's
Yeah.
gonna be
Or I mean, for a visit or whatever. But like they're like, I don't buy it. I
Right.
think it's all crap.
Or we're the fucking bad sperm in an alien planet that they just shoot off. We are their aborted fucking babies.
And now they're just checking on us
Yeah.
once in a while.
Right.
About these motherfuckers, I'm glad we got rid of these fucking idiots.
Yeah. What are they doing? Fighting? Great.
Yeah.
Calling each other roommates.
Yeah.
Fucking pieces of shit.
Dude, I need to send you the video of the new Hodge twins video
Yeah.
about you seen the George Floyd deal. So live on TV, they're fucking reporting. It's 1 year.
Oh, yeah, yesterday was
1 year and a
1
week
year. Yeah,
when you're watching this. Almost every news station's recording live and fucking drive-by shooting happens
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's an autonomous zone.
Oh Jesus.
I did see that.
But hearing the fucking Hodge twins,
Go
motherfucker.
off on it.
Dude, I love them motherfuckers. I'd love to get them on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let Mike read this one and then read the comment, the reply.
Okay.
Because this is golden.
All right. On a serious note, question for all 3 podcast members. Each one must give answer.
Uh-oh.
Imagine your Google Maps voice assistant, Google Assistant, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, etc.
Mike doesn't use one of those. Worth mentioning.
I
Go
don't.
ahead.
I don't use any of them. But
Yeah.
all of them going forward, giving you road directions, answering search questions, blah, 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 will be the voice of the same person for the rest of your life. Your choices are your own voice, of one of the other 2 podcast members, your current wife, girlfriend, roommate, or Zach's sister.
Oh fuck! Really?
In total, each has 5 options to choose from, and that is it. P.S. Uninfluenced podcast fans are welcome to pitch in, blah, blah, blah. So the first comment, somebody says Zach's sister, 100%.
Yeah. Of course they do.
But that was me.
Oh, fucker.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I would, just because I've never heard it. So
Yeah.
allegedly.
Sure. How could you not?
Yeah.
I'd go with my sister. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to go with
Spent
your
18
roommate.
years in the house with her. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah. Plus, God forbid anything ever happens to her. I can hear her tell me where to go.
Yeah. So not the wife or roommate. You'd rather have. a
Fuck, I
sister.
probably should have said my wife. That would have been.
too
the
late.
answer.
Yeah.
Son of a.
I'm going with your sister. Because it's simple. My wife tries to tell me what to do all the fucking time.
Right. And you
She's
never
gonna do
listen.
that whether I don't need
Yeah.
it twice.
Yeah, I don't need it here and next to me.
Right.
And fuck Alexa and all that shit.
Right. Now you're just here. You don't even think to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd miss those directions every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why your sister got hotter now that I know she's married.
Why, Zach? Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, she's married. I'm married. We both took vows. They're the same vows.
That's right. I guess this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time we talked about this show. Yeah, she's hitched officially.
Yeah.
Like 48 hours before this recording, she got married.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Does she know how many people want to bang her?
Dude, she has no idea any of this is.
So he didn't tell her what last week.
Well, no. Here's how we'll know we hit the big time: when somebody manages to find her and tell her independently of us, like a fan.
Just totally
traction.
organically, somebody's
Yes.
like, "Oh, you're Zach's sister."
Yeah. Which, if you're listening to this, don't be that guy. We'll wait for that to happen. All right, it'll come.
Let it happen.
Yeah, let it fucking
Let it
happen.
fucking happen.
Be that
It'll
guy.
happen Thursday after this episode comes out.
For sure, be that guy.
Please don't be that guy.
So this guy, Sean White talks a lot on the Patreon and everything else. Guys, I'm going to take a quick break to let y'all know Patreon Day is still going to happen when we get to 100. We're at 33 now. Shit's moving on up, so y'all get in there, sign up, and do all that shit.
You got to come see the new studio.
I do want to talk to you about doing something special for the Patrons once they get to 50.
Okay.
But I got to get your okay to do it. So it's going to be cool, and it's going to involve, if I can get his okay, something with Mike.
All right.
So, fuck off. Sean White.
He's a hell of a snowboarder. That one.
Yeah, I like. He looks just like Carrot Top, only younger.
Yeah, and you haven't threatened to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and I haven't. Holy fuck, Sean! I ain't reading this shit. This looks like one of Mike's novels.
Well, all right. Hold on. Just send you a paragraph.
16. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's
I'm gonna go first line. WRX. He likes it. He wants one.
Great.
Now, Subaru is supposed to be finally releasing a WRX STI FA 24 turbo soon with 440 horsepower.
that I could get behind.
Hell yeah.
I'd rock shit out of that. 440 horsepower in that little fucker.
Yeah,
Turn it up just a little bit.
all-wheel drive,
Yeah, that'd be a monster.
Yeah.
But are they going to keep it fucking...
cold air intake, and an exhaust tip. Tell you what,
Yeah. Fuck yeah. But are they going to keep it fucking manual?
I think they will.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I want a manual car again, but I don't want it to be my full-time fun car.
No, you can't.
No, but I do. I really want to look into getting a track car.
I mean,
one day.
that's a good viewer question. Is that manual only at this day and age? Like, what would be your manual toy car? For me, I think it'd be the 718. Maybe the GT4, GT4 RS. Maybe the GT3. But I don't know. I think that's a lot of fucking ass.
I think I go with the GT4.
Yeah, I think the 4 I think would probably be more fun, honestly.
Yeah. Still to this day, the most fun car handling wise I've owned was the 718 GTS.
Yeah.
And it's just because the speeds I could take that little motherfucker around my roundabouts in my neighborhood.
Really?
Oh, that's right. I did
Like a
fucked
fucking
up shit.
go-kart. And I will say that the brand new fucking GT4s are incredibly good looking cars. I mean, they look better than the fucking Turbo S's.
We looked at that manual one the other day.
Yeah, they're
And
fucking really good looking
I
cars.
saw one in chalk for sale with the carbon brakes and everything on. I was like,
Yeah, because those are up from the high 300s to like 414 horsepower, I think,
Yeah.
in that little fucking thing, which is pretty awesome.
yeah, and you can do, I think it's a full exhaust on it, and it unlocks like 40 or 50 horsepower,
Really?
which is huge in that little fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exhaust, and I don't even think you need to tune it. But that's huge. But on my 718, the fucking exhaust can was huge and heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
And it sounded like a fart in a jug. But when I did the fucking, I did an AWE exhaust on there, and it sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Yeah. Sean, I'm not reading the rest of this shit, bro. You're going to have to break that shit down.
Just send me the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go in and I'll message you, bro.
Assume we have the reading proficiencies of 10-year-olds. That's
I
about what you want to
I
send us.
technically do.
Yeah.
I'm a plumber. Write your shit 2 sentences. Yeah.
Like Twitter. Less than 500 characters, please.
The Poos. I like this guy. The Poos.
The Poos.
Yeah, Pooze. I like seeing the show progress. Congrats on the new studio. Looking forward to the genesis of things to come. Adding the timestamp in the description is next level. Good job, Zach.
That was a mic joint. That was his idea from Jump Street, believe it or not. I didn't come up with that.
And everybody loves the engagement of the show so far. Thanks for doing that. Guys, we enjoy talking to y'all and listening to your questions, giving you feedback. We try to get to as many as we can.
Yeah.
And if not, I try to respond to most everybody within the same day, if not within a week. Sometimes I just get busy and I can't.
It's a good conversation.
As we get bigger, we're going to hire somebody that's stupid as hell to fucking respond to you guys. So don't worry.
That's right.
And they'll pretend to be us.
They will act
We'll,
like
we'll
that's
make
right.
sure they're extra dumb so you can't
Yeah.
tell.
You'll never know.
We need to fucking start molding somebody into like mini us's.
Yeah.
Mini me's.
Mini us.
There's people that can do that. Yeah.
It'll be a gaggle of us's.
They'll have everything. Yeah.
David Freeman. I'm so glad to fucking hear that as we age, it's still harder to be it seems to be harder to be a bigger man. Yeah, it is. Basically, that's what he's talking about. See y'all on Wednesday. And we got into that, and hell, what was it? The next day, we ended up touching on that at dinner.
Yeah.
And, I mean, literally what we talked about ended up moving into real life situation where Mike's explaining it in real life. And what he told you guys is exactly how it went up in that conversation. And I'm like, yeah.
You're talking for people who didn't listen last week. You're talking about like not getting in fights. It's
Not my fucking problem. Go back and listen in last week's and come back. Timestamp this motherfucker.
I got you guys.
But in all honesty, everything he said, and I listened as I'm eating bread. That's 100% correct.
That's right. Man,
So-
I haven't had bread in a while.
What?
I said, man, I haven't had bread in a while. It must
Me
be
neither.
Awesome. Yeah.
Are you jonesing
Good
for it?
you. Oh, of course.
Motherfuckers over there, he'll fucking one-line yeast.
You doing
It's
you
not.
doing push-ups during your walks
I
yet?
am. Yeah. Is
that right?
I haven't been going as much because of the fucking rain, but yeah, I've been doing it.
The rain.
I also cannot bust out a set of 20 even each time, doing 15.
Zach, you do shower, right?
I do.
Okay, so what's the problem with the rain?
Fuck.
It's the same fucking theory of
Guys,
people
he
who
got
fuck.
me.
It starts raining at a pool and everybody freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't want to get wet. Bitch, you're in a pool.
That's true.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, you're making a lot of sense right now.
No excuse.
Fuck, that is an excuse. Son of a bitch.
I'm here to
Timothy?
help.
Thanks for your comment. Man, there's a lot of them today. You want to keep going on this, or y'all want to read some of the other stuff?
We got any hard topics?
I do.
Yeah, move on.
I emailed you yesterday on this. I'll start engaging the rest of these on the in the replies on the chat and all that shit. I was just going through as they came in. I got two. One I kind of brought up to you, I think at dinner. I don't remember. To buy a modified car or not.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that last week, did we?
Modified or stock?
Yeah.
No, I feel like
No, because they asked during the show, but I added it to my notes. So
Yeah.
here's my thoughts on it. And it's kind of hypocritical to a point, because if you can research the modifications and know the person who did it, like if you find somebody who's done tons of YouTube videos on a modified car, and you can kind of watch the transition and history of a modified car, know the tuners, the parts, everything they've done, I would say you're probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, before you're interested in the car, the video that has been made, they've said if the check engine lights came on, if they blew something up, if they fucked something up, it's usually in a video.
Yeah.
If it's not in their video, they usually collabed with somebody and it's in their video. If it's a buddy you know, and you know he took it to a really good shop and great parts, I would say you should be good. But if it's Joe Schmo that you can't look up, research shit,
eBay, anonymous seller shit.
I would say fuck no, don't buy a modified car unless it's a minor mod like wheels,
Okay.
tire upgrades. I don't even think I'd fuck with exhaust if I didn't know who the fuck put it on.
Yeah.
Not in a high-end car. If you're talking F-150 trucks, shit like that, it's a little easier to repair. But then again, I wouldn't want to get in, say, a Raptor or an F-150 or a Chevrolet 1500, get it 100 miles down the road, check engine lights on because they decided to fucking hollow out their catalytic converters.
Yeah, I think it's all kind of relative too, though, in that one person's high-end exotic is at the top end of their budget.
Yeah.
If a Raptor with some modifications is at the top end of your budget, same thing. Like I would be more likely to buy something that's a $30,000 car that has a bunch of shit done to it, because it's not as big of a deal if it completely shits the bed on me the way, say, the Ferrari is or what have you.
Yeah.
just like there's, plenty of people out there that would buy a Pista and modify the shit out of it because if it blows up, they don't give a fuck because they have, $200 million in their bank account. So I think it kind of all depends. But I think, to your point, I agree in that unless you really know the person to where, like, if something's fucked up, they're going to do right by it, or at a minimum, the shop and can resolve that problem. If there is an issue, then you're fine. I mean, I think ultimately, like, if you trust the person you're buying it from, then yeah, it's fine. If you don't, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, something like this may come into play one day on the channel.
Yeah.
And one of us could buy modified cars.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know what the fuck we're going to do.
You're fundamentally getting into like the new and used market, right? Like, would you rather buy a car new or used? Like,
it depends.
It's used with mods, but I mean, it's still a functionally, somebody else had that and treated it a certain way, and you're buying into that.
Depends on what I'm using it for. If it's a exotic, and I'm sure he's probably same boat. If it's an exotic, I'd rather someone else hate the depreciation if there's not a ton of fucking miles on it.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking buy it second hand, third hand sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's a pickup truck that I'm going to actually use to say what he does, long haul across the country.
Yeah.
And it had 1,000 miles traded in or 2,000 miles. What the fuck happened in that truck? Because that's really rare to see one of those fucking.
Yeah. Daily drivers, utility trucks, whatever, I like to buy new.
Yeah.
I do. If it's something that I'm going to keep under warranty and not fuck with it and put a shitload of miles on it, I'd rather it be new.
Yeah.
If it's a depreciating asset like a supercar or something, and I'm not going to keep it, say if I bought a SF90, I'd maybe want to spec it out, but there's some good specs coming out now that I'm sure we'll eventually see on the market used. So if they depreciate like they could now that they're not a special limited number car,
Yeah.
I'd probably buy that used. But if it's, say, a Law Ferrari,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm going to buy it fucking new if I can because it's an appreciating asset. Yeah. But I'm also that asshole that if I have that money, I'm going to cut it up and put an exhaust on it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you guys have do either of you have a soft cap for miles on a car that you're like, no fucking way, I'll buy it if it's over this? Like 50K,
Depends
30K?
on the car.
Depends on the car.
All right.
100%.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff I've looked at can be 10,000 miles and it's fine because it's still got 30-something thousand mile warranty.
Sure.
Shit, some of the 2016 Porsches had a fucked up engine deal, and they have a fucking 10-year warranty on the engine and powertrain and shit.
Damn.
I think it's the GT3 RS and the GT3 cars.
Yeah.
So you can buy one of them with 10,000 miles on it, and you still
set.
got, what, 4 years of warranty? No, 5 years of warranty right now. But I think that kicked in when the 992 came out.
Yeah.
So it may be even longer. I'd have to really get in and research, but I know those two models, and it could be other models, have a 10-year warranty from Porsche. It's not an added on deal the owner had to pay for. The engines were in that spot to where they're like, look, if it fucks up, we're going to handle it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I would trust one of them in that warranty if it had 15,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Just because it's under warranty. But again, I would buy it with no mods.
Yeah. To me, I think, to summarize maybe is that there's so many factors and variables that are going to drive whether or not you do it. I think ultimately it depends on what it's being used for, what's available, and then ultimately if it is modded, do you trust the person that did it or that you're buying it from, that if there's something that's horribly wrong, then you can resolve it. But, ultimately if you're buying a modded car, like, you also have to understand that comes with that territory that, 20 miles after you buy it from somebody, the engine could completely fucking blow up.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it, So if you're willing to take that risk, try to minimize that risk by trusting the person that you buy it from. And I would also say the more modified it is, the higher the chance that something horribly wrong is going to go wrong or happen also.
Yeah,
But
more points of failure. That makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said they'd never buy a car that I owned. That's fucked up. Matter of fact, it was the dude with the Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I said, dude, I'd never buy a car you fucking own.
Never. Oh, well.
Fuck him. My shit's all drove right. Technically, none of mine have thrown crazy lights, done anything stupid. Well, I say that. I had one throw a crazy light the other day.
Yeah.
For the most part, my cars have all done really well. And I put them back stock. most of the time when I'm selling them.
I feel like you treat your cars pretty well. Yeah, you
I
drive,
drive
you
them like they're
hard, but when it
supposed to be
comes
driven.
Yeah, when it comes to buying and selling, you're pretty on the
Yeah,
on the level.
I drive that shit like it's supposed to be driven.
Right.
I did hear an interesting question, and you can weigh in on this too, because I think, hell, everybody weigh in on this. A guy, they were at a hypercar event, and the guy said, what amount of money do you have to have sitting in the bank to buy your dream hypercar? Now, I don't know if you truly have a dream hypercar.
I mean, to me, the textbook classic, what everybody would consider hypercars, I wouldn't buy any of them at any amount. None of them are what I want. You know, to me, because they're not cars that you really drive, and they're not drivers' cars. I mean, you could argue the LaFerrari is probably a driver's car. You know, the higher end McLarens, the P1, the Senna, they are, but not anywhere other than a track. You know, which, again, I'm not going to buy a car that you have to drive on a track or it'll knock your fucking kidneys loose. So, for me, the SF90 would be, of all the cars that I know of, I'm sure there's some out there that I don't know about, but that would be the car that if money's no fucking object, I would buy. And even then, I know it's faster than a Pista. I don't think it probably handles as well, and it's probably not quite as fun to drive. I don't think it is. It might be.
But what would have to be sitting in your bank account for you to say, I'll go pull the trigger on this?
On an SF90, just stroke a check for it. For me, I would say probably north of 40 million liquid for me to spend that, to just stroke a check for that car.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. If I'm sitting on, I would say 10 million, I would invest in a LaFerrari.
Yeah.
But it'd almost have to be more because the simple fact I'd want to drive it.
I mean, to me, it's about percentages, right?
Yeah.
Whether you make, let's say you make $100,000 a year, right? Would you stroke a check for a $60,000 Raptor?
No,
Fuck no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell no.
So it's the same thing. Like if I'm going to buy a car that, after it's all said and done, costs almost $1 million, like you should probably have at least 40 times that sitting around if you're going to stroke a check for it.
Yeah.
So to me, like the number is really irrelevant.
It's a comfort thing.
Yeah, but
That's why I love the question, because one of the dudes actually owned a hypercar, two of them, and he was sitting on $10 million. The cars he was sitting on were $4 million.
yeah,
Now at the time he's supposedly sitting on $10 million. So what were you sitting on when you bought those cars?
yeah.
Right.
Did you recoup any money after stroking those checks?
It's awfully strange.
Yeah. But to his credit, the two cars he owns are actually just going up in value, and he drives the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like a smart investor who did his research and bought something that he could enjoy while potentially, oh shit, I got to get some money back, could sell it and recoup or profit.
Yeah, and again, to me, like I just look at it, even at that point, is that the car isn't an investment.
No.
To me.
No, 100%. There's safer investments than that. Zach, what would yours have to be? And fuck,
Do you even know what car it would be?
I don't.
That's
But
why-
I'm in the same boat as Mike. Like it's going to have to be a fraction of what I expect to retain as value, right? Like because if you like Mike said, Mike's example, if you have $100,000 in a year, spent $60,000 in a car, you're gonna baby that fucking car. You're not gonna drive it. You're gonna take care. You're gonna be like, well, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to bend it, and you're not gonna drive it the way it needs to be driven. You're not gonna enjoy it the way it needs to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
It needs to be a fraction of the actual value. That way you can fucking feel like it's a fraction of what it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's why our society, which I'm not saying it's not 100% negative being such a debt-driven society. I take advantage of debt where it makes sense to.
Yeah.
There's times where I don't get loans or lines of credit if it doesn't make sense. If the terms are really, really favorable, and that amount of money is not something that I want to dish out, in terms of all liquid, and the terms are right where it costs very little to borrow that money, then I think it makes sense to do it.
Sure.
If you're a 19-year-old and you're getting a 24% APR loan on a fucking six-banger Mustang, when you work at fucking Sonic, then that's a bonehead move, and that sets you up for a cycle living paycheck to paycheck and being beholden by the fucking financial man for your entire life. But, so I think, but the problem I think though is that let's say you make $100,000 a year and you get a loan on a $60,000, $70,000 vehicle. To me that is a bad decision. Is that, if what you're taking a loan out is, damn near what you make in a year, and it's for something, even though, yes, we all basically need vehicles, to me, that's not a good fucking financial decision.
Yeah.
Wait until you're in a position where it's more lopsided in your favor, and that if you're taking money out, you're making several times that. To me, like on whatever it is, like if I'm going to take a loan out on something, I need to be making, multiple X of what I'm taking that loan out, like, 7, 10. I mean, a high multiple for me to say, yeah, I'm willing to take a loan out, even though, yeah, maybe I can stroke a check for that. I'm not going to, again, if it doesn't make sense. If I can get good loan terms, I'd rather take that money. Let's say we'll just use $100,000. Like, if I can take that $100,000 and invest in my business or mutual funds or somebody else's business, or somebody's doing a capital raise and says, hey, here's the growth of our company over the last 5 years, and if you put in $100,000, we project that you're going to 3x your money in 18 months. Like, that $100,000 for me is way more fucking valuable to put into that company than it is to buy a vehicle, or a house or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm going to take a loan out on things that depreciate or that are things like that the interest rate's not going to fucking kill me. And at the end of the day, if it's a $100,000 vehicle and I end up spending $112,000 to pay it back, that's worth it, instead of taking that $100,000 and it disappearing by stroking a check.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to look at business principles that way, where you kind of look at it from maybe a more 30,000 foot aerial view before you do it, and just impulsively say, well, fuck, they're going to lend me that much? Like, that doesn't mean it's a good idea. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, I went through the Southern California mid-2000s real estate bubble, where I bought a house, sold it 2 years later for over double what I paid for it. Put a lot of that down on the next house. 2 years later, sold it for 1.5 times what I paid for it. Put all of that into the next house. And then 3 years later, it was worth less than half of what we paid for it. Totally fucking lost our ass.
Yeah.
And I got a loan that, I shouldn't have gotten. Now I can sit here and say, you shouldn't have lent me that money. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck me. In that case, like, I borrowed the money. Like,
right.
If you're that fucking dumb, if I'm that dumb, and I'm saying me, like, not even you, I'm telling you, like, that was a lesson that I learned the hard way, was that, if I don't look out for me, why are they going to look out for me?
Right.
Like, you got to look out for you first. And if you're making boneheaded financial decisions, like, don't try to blame somebody else for taking advantage of you.
Right.
He ain't wrong.
He's not wrong at all. Fuck no,
No.
he's not wrong. Yeah.
He's very good at that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why he's my sounding board when I'm fixing to make some dumbass choices.
Mike, do you think it's a smart?
What would you do? Not that.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think of this? I think you're stupid. Okay, cool.
That's funny.
I'll pay you later.
All right.
Yeah, so like you said, it's all relative to what you feel comfortable with, and you're supposed to make your money work for you. If your money's not working for you, then you're stupid.
I think I'm not going to tell you what your goals should be, but to me, it just makes sense. Like, similarly with whether it's Social Security or even investments, like those only go so far. And I know a lot of people that are in the position where they're retired and they have a pension, a mutual fund, Social Security, and all that combined. That they can live comfortably.
Sure.
They're not fucking going to Vegas and throwing 50,000 on Red 9, but they're living, comfortably and what have you, and that's great. For me, to me, like, I want to set up over the course of my adult life revenue streams that ultimately are passive, so that I get to the point where now you're, in your 50s, 60s, and you've got, multiple passive revenue streams on top of those other things that have money flowing in that does give you that kind of financial freedom and flexibility to to do really whatever the fuck you want, you know.
Right.
Now but it takes a long time to do that, and I think a lot of times people hear, you know, somebody in their early 20s like, yeah, I want fucking 5 passive revenue streams. Like, dial it back a notch. It's going to take you a long time, generally speaking, to get to that point. And I also think it's a mistake to try to do too many of them at once, even if they're active. If there's something you're actively working on, this is something I've struggled with, and I know you have. I mean, we do, honestly. Like, there's a million fucking good ideas, you know. But first and foremost, you have to ask: is the juice worth the squeeze? If it is, how many of those can you do before you have too many of them to be able to keep any one of them running at an optimal level where it's running the way that it should? Because very quickly, you can find yourself with too many things on your plate, and then they all suffer, and then you've just jeopardized all of the hard work you've put in. So while it's good to be, you know, a go-getter and proactive that way, be measured and calculated and grow it slow, and don't try to outscale yourself to a point which you can't keep up with your own progress, and then you ultimately sink the fucking ship, because that can happen and does pretty regularly.
Everybody wants to get rich quick.
Can't.
Make
I mean,
fast money now, right?
I had a friend of mine, offer to invest in the plumbing company. And I'm real picky on who I'll mess with when it comes to business. And he's like, man, I'm really tired of doing what I'm doing. What he's doing is a good career. I don't want to say it, I'll tell y'all off air, but what he's doing is a good career, honorable and all that type of shit. And there's so many outlets in his profession now that he could be making all kinds of different money.
Wow.
And he's like, I want to invest in this or this. And he's one of those guys that, oh shit, I can do this and sell ShamWows and make a killing. You know, he wants that rich now. And I said, dude, there's tons of things you can do on the side. I said, if you watch trends on cars, there's certain cars you can watch someone fixing to lose their house that's selling off cars, and you can buy them cheap, sell them high, and then it's an easy, quick way to make, not quick, it's an easy way to make money. It could take you 4 months, could take you 6 months, could take you a year. I said, but your profits could be X. It's all in multiples again. Oh, I need to figure out how to make money now. I said, usually anything you can make money right now isn't worth trying to do and make money right now. Yeah. It's too good to be true. It usually is.
Yep.
I mean, everything I've done, I know you've done, it's a slow burn. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Always. Yeah.
If it's a sprint, you better slow the fuck down somewhere, because something's gonna fuck up bad.
Well, I think the problem is you know, between social media and so much information, and so much connectivity to everybody else on the planet being at your fingertips all the time, sets a lot of people up for failure in terms of unrealistic expectations. Because when you see, you know, the fucking Paul brothers, you know, as an example, like, you know, 2 fucking regular guys, you know, grew up and did some shit on YouTube, and now they're, you know, rolling in fucking money. Not overnight. I mean, they've been, you know, working at it for years, but it seems that way. It seems like those guys just got lucky and did nothing. For sure, they put some time into it, but if your expectation is, well, I'm just going to do what they did, you know, it's like seeing somebody win the lottery and be like, well, I'll just go win the lottery. Like, that's about what your chances are of developing an app that gets bought by Facebook for fucking $3 billion, or being an overnight, you know, sensation on YouTube or TikTok or whatever the fuck. Like, yes, those things do happen, but they are exceptions, you know. And if your goal is to be an exception, you're almost always going to be fucking let down, you know, and you're going to fail. Like, you can't try to be the exception. You've got to try to be the rule and follow the same principles that are going to maximize your chance for success, because your chance for success at being an exception is minute, you know. It's a fraction of a percent. So
there's that comedian who used to be a YouTuber, Bo Burnham, who said on Conan when he was on there, he said, me telling people to go out and chase your dreams of being a stand-up comic or talent, I might as well tell you to buy lottery tickets. He's like, that's about the success rate. Like, the odds of you making it are so fucking slim. He's like, I don't know how I did it. Somehow I made it over, but Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you actually probably have a higher chance of winning the lottery, because think about how many household names you know in any given industry, right? Yeah. Think about how many that are, right? Now think about state lotteries, right? And how often they're won. You know, once or twice a week, fucking 52 weeks a year.
That's right.
Right, so there are thousands of them. Like, do you know thousands of YouTube sensations? No.
Absolutely not.
Right, so I mean, statistically, you actually do have a better chance winning the fucking lottery than you do becoming an overnight sensation in any fucking industry.
Yeah.
You know, so agreed. Like, I'm not saying don't chase your dreams, but don't burn the boat and you know, have some sort of backup plan. I mean, I've said this before. Like, to me, have something that pays all of your fucking bills, so that whatever it is that you're doing, like, you can live the way that you live, and while you do that, you work on the side hustle. You build the side hustle until it gets to the point where you can now quit whatever it is that you were doing, and don't quit it until it gets to that point. As soon as it does, quit, and then go full beans on whatever your side hustle was, and then that's how you do it. But to do it any way other than that is setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, and don't forget about the work, man. Everybody forgets about the work part of all these brilliant fucking schemes. Oh, I'm going to do this over a decade and work out it great. Every single fucking day, that's what you're doing. It's work.
Well, I mean, it's like me. We know the potential of one of our new companies we have together. And it's like, oh, you know what? I'm counting that money right now. I'm going to quit doing what I'm doing already that's paying all my bills. Because fuck this. This is going to be fucking chump change to what we could be doing. It's like, that's a fucking horrible idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Paul brothers, there's tons of videos you can go watch to see what Logan spends a month on just his video ideas, his production team, shit like that. It's like it's a dumbass amount of money. But to get to the level he is, he just, and that's the same with any business. You take so much, you have to put it back. No, you have to build. Yeah. You have to build.
And it takes money to make money. You know?
There was something else. They did there's a YouTube poll, not a poll, a YouTube algorithm video. It says to hit 100,000 subs. Like, basically, you're an anomaly. Your mic drop. It shouldn't be there yet. Yeah. Because it's like thousands of videos to get to that point.
Yeah.
And almost every channel, that's how it is. And then there's the 1 or 2% that you're putting out content that people want to hear. They're sharing it with their friends, and boom, you're becoming successful at YouTube. And that's how the Paul brothers were. But if you go back and look, they have thousands of videos out of just stupid shit, you know. But it got there. And then you go look at yours. Yeah, there's a ton of videos, but you're still not at that level they're saying it takes most people to get to that. And most people don't have the strength or ability to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna make 1,000 videos. 1,000 videos is fucking hard. We're at what, 30 you said?
30 is this episode.
30 of this episode. And I mean, people are like, y'all are killing it. Bro, we make $10. $10 an episode. You don't want to know what it costs to run each episode.
That's right. These podcasts go out for free. Like, that's
And it's we didn't get into it to get rich. We enjoy it. We're having fun. And
that's right.
If it starts making where we can pay the bills, awesome.
Great.
But
that makes me think of a smart-ass response to, hey, the audio sucks. Well, you got what you paid for.
Yeah, bitch.
Because you didn't pay anything. So.
Fucking A.
Yeah, you motherfuckers. But we do appreciate the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
Except you Patreon assholes, you guys do deserve better audio.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we're working on that for you guys.
Boost their audio up.
I wish
there was a button you could click that linked them. You get better audio.
Yeah,
you get
the free version
audio.
sounds like a broken drive-through. The Patreon is crystal clear.
That would be fucking awesome.
That's great.
Something else. I sent you this video yesterday. I don't know how much you watch. I know Wednesdays are your real busy days. The Lamborghini adding race fuel to their Nurburgring time.
Well,
and there was way more shit when you really watched
taping shit up and Lexan fucking glass replacements. And
it's not the first time they've got caught doing that.
Yeah. To me, I don't get it, though, because, I mean, anybody that pays any attention who's going to give enough of a shit about them breaking it are also going to know that it's fucked up. To me, it reminds me of the BMW or Mercedes assholes that put M's or AMGs on a fucking four-cylinder non-M or AMG. Like, the only people who are going to actually know what that means are going to know that you're full of shit, and everybody else isn't going to know or give a fuck anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, like, if Lamborghini, you know, says, hey, we got a fucking 639 with this car, it's like, well, it was a fucking race car.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's cars with, you know, that are sub 6, you know, that are all tricked out, that are ready to race. So I don't see the fucking point in it.
I know it's not the Nurburgring's It's not the people who run that place to say, hey, you can't fucking do that. But I do kind of wish they could step up and be like, hey, come on, man.
No, they can't because, well, I mean, they could say you can't rent our track unless you do this, which they're not going to say to Lamborghini anyway. I mean, Lamborghini rented the track for a day. They can do whatever the fuck they want on it. Yeah, they could have coked out strippers fucking sniper crawl around it for time if they wanted.
Yeah,
that would be badass.
It's a shame there's nobody to say, hey, come on, play this shit straight. Like, come on.
Well, you know, again, I mean, they didn't do anything illegal. It's just like, it's just not going to be valid. You can't say that this is a production car record when it's not.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I'm trying, the AMG GTR, so there's the Pro, there's a Black Series now. And the Black Series did it in 635.4 or some shit. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is.
Pretty snappy.
643 maybe, or 630.
643.616. So, yeah. That's huge. And what's embarrassing for the other cars at that point, and you got people like Ferrari who, from all the research I've looked at and found, haven't ran a ring time since they brought out the first 488. So they just don't give a fuck, right?
Not as a company.
Not as a company, no. And not sending a driver and renting the track out and shit like that. So not pulling official times. Yeah, you can find ring times, but they're not theirs.
Right.
So they have their own track. They don't give a fuck. So you got people like Lamborghini who that's their thing, fastest on the ring. But if you go look, and you can do this on Wikipedia and click lap times, you can see the ones that are running stock tires and OEM upgrades. And shit, you could go as a customer and be like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I do want this.
Right.
You could do that. Then you see the Aventador with the roll cage, all this shit done to it, Lexan glass. You see the Performante that is very, very suspicious. And if it was done at the time, I would say nowadays, they would have probably caught them cheating again because a lot of people swear they sped up.
Yeah.
The track times and the markers didn't line up.
What?
Nowadays, they're catching these people doing that, cheating. And that's the thing. You're putting up fake lap times to get your sales up.
Well, it's like an athlete faking a drug test,
yeah.
Right? Nobody calls up Lance Armstrong like, man, you really killed it on that track. We're all like, hey, you fucking cheated, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, but you got the AMG GTR Black. That's a production car that I think there's 30. They'll probably end up building more if they sell. I would imagine with the amount of money they're going for. That's a production GT Grand Touring car that went out there with tires, adjustments that you and I could do if we know what the fuck we're doing.
It's mostly aero, right?
Yeah, it's all aero, and then there's dampening knobs.
So it's the same bi-turbo V8 577 horse fucking engine.
It's got more turbo. It's got bigger turbos.
Okay.
So it's pushing 701 horsepower and 620 torque, which is still close to everything else in that realm.
Yeah.
And but it's a GT car.
And it's heavier.
Heavier. Yeah, I think it's 3,600 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Pista's 32, all the McLarens are right at 3,000. I mean, that's a big difference.
But it goes with the same tires you have on your car, and we talked about this. I'd love to see Ferrari stick the Pista out there with a professional driver, but it goes out there and kicks the shit out of all these super next level, almost hypercars, and it's a GT car. Now, I don't count the Ferrari, not because I'm a Ferrari fanboy, but I don't count the Pista time yet. Because for one, it's not Ferrari. If it was Ferrari renting the track, doing everything Lamborghini's doing, then I would say, okay. Yeah. But it's not. It was somebody who did a time, and it could have been, Top Gear. It could have been someone like that testing the Pista to figure out.
Well, so I know the Christian Gephardt is the guy's name, I think, who has gotten best times in a lot of different cars.
Bunch of them bitches.
He's as good a driver as I think you could find for that.
Yeah.
But I agree in that, like, if Ferrari, said we're gonna take the Pista to, or even the SF90, I mean any of them, we're gonna take it to the Nurburgring and rent it out and see what we can do with it. I have no doubt it would have been well below 7. I don't know that it would be down into the fucking 640s. Maybe. Who fucking knows? But I have no doubt it'd be faster than what it is. But you know what I found interesting, not to change subjects too much, but it's still in the realm of the Nurburgring, is I was looking up the BMW S1000 RR Nurburgring time is not below 7.
No shit.
Yeah, it's just above. It's like 7. It's 7:04, I think. So, which to me is, is remarkable to think that we'll take the Pista since it's right in there is faster than the BMW S1000 RR on the Nurburgring.
You got, I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of straight lines, but where the Pistas and stuff, well, if they had a race rider, but that track's rough as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
if you watch it, but still that, and I've said it over and over and over, the Pista is a fucking work of art. If you ever drive a Pista and you're in any other car and you think that your car is better, you better be in a hypercar because you're full of shit if you think your car is better than a Pista. And I've drove a lot.
Yeah, I think for overall package deal, I can't argue with that, and that's why I've stopped looking at second cars or project cars or anything else of saying, what am I going to get next? Because I don't want anything else. You know,
Yeah.
like even an SF90. I mean, I'm not necessarily in the market to get one, but I don't know. Like to me, if it was twice the car that the Pista was, which I don't know how that would even be possible. But,
Yeah, I don't think it.
then maybe, but you know, to me, like I would only want to get it and not get rid of the Pista. Like I wouldn't get rid of the Pista to get an SF90. So
And a lot of the reviewers I'm seeing, so they switched to that digital technology on the steering wheel.
I don't like that at all.
Oh, there's a lot of reviews that don't like it.
Yeah,
They're saying you're accidentally, when you're in the shifting so comfortable grabbing at high speed, you're like this, while your palms or your thumbs are crossing over the bars and making
Changing
the car
shit.
do shit. And it's like, fuck that.
Over-designed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Smoking Tire does a good review on it.
Yeah.
I think it came out yesterday. I almost sent it to you, but I got
I actually watched it last night.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a decent video. I'm all over the place with his reviews. Sometimes you can tell that he's giving good reviews because they helped him out with the car, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's a Doug DeMuro type. I really like this. Most of the time, Doug DeMuro will be like, look at this quirking feature. The door fell off. Yeah. You know, it's like, whoa, bro.
You know, Matt doesn't seem as objective as some of the other ones, you know.
Yeah.
But
He's also not on their level of views and viewers and subscribers. But, I mean, he does these. Plus, he's a fat guy like me, so I like that. And he's got a cool name.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, there's some cool cars out there. But the Pista, there's a couple more cars I want to see if they can handle close to the Pista. But I just don't think there are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've drove a lot. I've drove a GT3. I've drove the 488 base. I've drove the Pista. I haven't drove the 812. I need to get out and drive one. But the reviews
720S.
720S. I've drove it at stock and 1,000 horsepower. Nowhere near the fucking same.
Stock and modded Huracans and R8s.
Mm-hmm. I've drove the Porsche Turbo S's, stock and tons of shit done. I mean, we've been in tons of fucking cars, and still to this day, kind of like the fucking RSV4.
Yeah.
It's the only car I've ever got out, and I was like, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me.
Yeah, because you can't fucking leave anything alone.
No, I'll start looking at a car, and that bitch can have a little bit of shit done to it. I'm like, okay, sweet. I can put this on it, put this on it, put this on it, and it's going to be cooler. It's just, my nature is to make things different. But if I bought a Pista, and I'm almost to the point, whatever I get next, that could be the bridge between me and a Pista.
Yeah.
Because if I go through what I'm going to have to go through, I don't think I'm going to stop at 812. I might as well just go to the Pista level and just be done.
I never took you to be a Ferrari man, but here we are.
Dude, that car is phenomenal. Now, if something I am looking at pans out to be what it is, I may drive that for a while and get it close to out of warranty and fuck around and do something else.
Fuck around and find out.
I mean, you never know what our future could be. If our new businesses take off, then fuck. We may have hypercars on this motherfucker to review and that we just review and sell. But like he said, if with the Pista being as good as it is, it'd have to be a remarkable ass car to come in and be like, well, you got to go, bitch.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's still, I've said it before, and hell, John even said it. The TDF and the Pista are his go-to. If he had to get rid of all his collection and couldn't keep the race car, he'd keep those two. They let him have two. If he could keep one, it was the Pista. If he could keep his race car and get rid of everything, it'd be the race car. Yeah. By the way, did you see the new F8 FXX is out now? which that's what he races, but now there's the F8 version of it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it just came out this week, last week.
Huh.
But so that could mean the F8 has something coming.
That'd be cool.
So
I mean, it would make sense.
that could be the replacement for a Pista, possibly.
Yeah, to me, like that would make sense for Ferrari to do it that way, is whatever their kind of flagship normal car is. You know, it went from the 458 and all the ones before that to the 488 to the F8, is to have a Pista version of those. You know, a year or two after it comes out. So to me, like an F8 Pista would be really cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know what the fuck they would do to it to make it, you know, so much better. I mean, unless you're going to change the engine, like you'd have to either do like a, not necessarily Novatec, but something like that.
Yeah.
Where it gives it an 80 to 100 horsepower boost and a better sounding and performing exhaust. You know, there's not much they can do to it handling wise, unless they go to the SF90, you know, front steering, battery steering, fly-by-wire brakes, fly-by-wire steering. Like they'd have to make significant changes to where it's not really a track version of that car. Now it's a totally different car, you know. So I don't know what you do with that really, because obviously from the 488 GTB to the 488 Pista, they changed the engine. They changed, you know, a lot of the aero on it. The intercooler mechanisms are far superior in terms of keeping the engine cool. The aero is like 25% more aerodynamic with like 7% more drag. I mean, it's just ripping my fucking microphone off here.
It's okay.
It's gonna sound like shit anyway.
Yeah, dicks.
But I don't know how they accomplish that. I mean, that's their fucking problem, right?
Yeah,
we're just here to enjoy their problem, their solution to their problem. But,
and we talk about it a lot. There's so many good cars out there that it's definitely first world fucking problems, because we're bitching about what supercars are we going to keep.
Yeah.
I mean,
the paradox of choice.
I'm really going to, if not this week, because I still have a ton of shit coming up that we're doing to the studio. Within the next couple of weeks, I'm really going to dig into fun budget cars.
Yeah.
Like really, really dig into it.
Yeah.
And shit, with the market the way it is, it's almost impossible to go out and fucking drive some.
No, I know it.
You know, because everything's gone off the lots.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you guys about that. So another podcast I do happens to be some guys who do car dealership mergers and acquisitions. It's a very dull show. It's nothing like this. It's not worth. I'm not.
They don't talk about your sister?
No. So like I said, not exciting. They said Enterprise and Hertz and all these rent-a-car places are like upside down because they sold a bunch of cars during the pandemic. So now it's hard to get rental cars. How does that affect?
Well, there's two things. One is that, yes, because during the pandemic, nobody was traveling, nobody was renting cars. The same thing as the airline industry. Like if nobody's flying, a lot of people aren't renting cars because that's the bulk majority of the rental car business is attached to airlines.
Yeah.
So if nobody is flying, that same group of nobody, they're not renting cars either. So instead of sitting on fucking all this inventory that's costing them money, they sold a bunch. Now that it's picking back up, they're having a really hard time finding cars because there is a car shortage because of this fucking silicone chip or whatever fucking shortage that's existed now for a while and is fucking everything up. I mean, that's why
Bitcoin, right?
No, it's a chip that actually goes in the vehicles that they're not able to make.
Mm-hmm. The warehouse caught on fire.
And so there's all these
2 months ago, wasn't it?
These cars that are made and sitting there that can't be finished because there isn't this one little fucking chip that goes in them.
Really?
Yeah. Thousands and thousands.
I mean, I'd say hundreds of thousands.
Yeah,
probably.
just sitting in lots. Like they're renting commercial spots to go park cars that are done and can't be sold.
Wow. Okay, no, I thought it was a silicon chip shortage because fucking Bitcoin mining and shit.
No.
People are buying computer parts.
Somewhere like in Asia or some shit like that. And the warehouse caught on fire from what I read.
Really?
And
That's all
Honda,
it takes. Holy fuck.
why they're not seeing a crazy shortage, they bought everything up.
Yeah.
Once they heard it reported, they bought all the chips. Like them assholes. Crazy. But I mean, that just goes to show how fucking dependent we are on technology too.
Yeah.
Because if this would be 1970s, even 1980s,
All those cars would work.
every one of them motherfuckers be out on the street.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
That's weird.
we can't now because we need a chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where we at in time?
Good. I got a question for you before we wrap up.
I got a question why this light's been blinking at me for 10 minutes.
Which one?
This one.
What, on this camera?
Yeah.
It's been blinking at you for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Okay, but what's your question?
I don't know. I was going to ask, do you guys have a time in your life you can distinctly recall feeling like, fuck, I'm old?
Right now.
Like the first time.
Every day I wake up.
Do you recall how old you were?
40.
Okay.
For
40,
me,
so
I
you were like, goddamn. Like,
Yeah, and I never had the preconceived notion of 40 being over the hill or old or whatever, but without fucking question, once I hit 40 and shortly thereafter is when I just physically started to feel more old.
Really?
Vision, joints, just the amount of sleep I need, the amount of long road trips that I can't take like I used to, overtraining comes a lot faster and easier. Recovery takes longer. Eating like shit impacts me way more noticeably. Drinking, if I'm not very particular on, making sure that I get proper amounts of sleep and eating relatively clean and really taking care of myself, I feel it pretty dramatically. But yeah, it wasn't until 40. I mean, even in my late 30s, like, I could drive fucking 30 hours straight and live off fast food and eat whatever the fuck I want. And like, it just, I could get shit faced and, get up to like it. I just still felt like I was fucking 19.
Yeah.
And now that's not the fucking case, not even close. But
yeah. Well, you probably had a few more years than the rest of us, I imagine. I mean,
you're
much better shape. So yeah.
I mean, I probably have a little more mileage, but still, I mean, I think you're only as old as you let yourself get in terms of how you take care of yourself. I mean, there's people in their 50s and 60s that do yoga and stay hydrated and are healthy and super fit and whatever. And there's people that are 30 that are, disgusting fat fucks that have heart disease and fucking joint problems, so like, that's just one of those things that you got to take it upon yourself to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You're the only one that can take care of yourself. And that's one of those things that it's the only fucking body you have. I mean, that's one of the things my grandmother told me before she died. She was talking about teeth in particular, but then she rounded it out and saying everything is that way. It was like I always had these really neat conversations with her the last couple of years she was alive. Every time I would visit her, I would ask her about her childhood and just her perspective on things, because she was in her mid 90s.
Shit's important.
And it was fascinating, but also very revealing. But that was one of the things she said. When I asked her for, if you had to pick one fucking thing, advice, she's like, take care of your fucking teeth.
Yeah.
It was like your teeth. She's like, you have one fucking set, and so many things in your body are connected to your mouth that if your teeth are fucked up, you can't eat. It fucks your digestion up. It'll make you cranky. It fucks with your blood acidity. It fucks with all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And she's like, and once they're fucked up, I don't care if you get dentures or implants or whatever, it's never the same, and it will bother you the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, and the rest of your body too. Just if there's one thing, she's like, your teeth. I was like, huh.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Anyway, I apologize. I got an interview at fucking noon. I gotta
Oh shit! All right, we're
Yeah.
gonna call it then. Yeah.
We're out, bitches.